Time flies by too quick, so you're gonna see me break eye contact a lot since I'm covering a lot of things. I wrote quite a few keywords. My brain can't handle all these theories, all of these hum, so you're gonna see me ha hoo hoo. It's gonna look weird, but now you know why. So, I'm running out of time. I was gonna do an ultimate prediction before launch, predicting the whole game from start to end. But if you've been with the channel for a while, you've heard me mention most of what I think is gonna happen in game. So at the end of this video, I'm gonna ramble some bonus theories, predictions, or whatever. But on to today's main topic. How do I see The Last of Us Part 2 ending? I think from a story standpoint, what needs to happen is that the ending of Part 1 comes back full circle in the ending of Part 2, and that Joel tells the truth. I'll get more into the truth details in a minute, but basically I think that it'll end on a cliffhanger combined with that. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know that I've said that I think that Joel tells the truth in this scene, but now I feel like it's not gonna be in this scene, and that why Ellie's sad and why she leaves here is because Joel, like I've said plenty of times, Joel tries to convince Ellie to stop her revenge journey, and because of this she gets mad and she leaves him. I think that this is gonna take place after Jesse seemingly leaves. Joel is gonna realize, like, we're one man short, is this really the best thing to do? What are you doing, kiddo? And then whom? I believe that when Ellie goes on revenge, Joel, Jesse, and Dina will be with her, and at some point she will go solo dolo, yes, but there will be multiple reunions with Joel, at least I think. And there's gonna be like a pickly situation rescue mission. You've heard me mention it in yeah, I'll leave the top right corner down below. You have selected theories of what I strongly believe is gonna happen in game. So there's gonna be multiple reunions with Joel, at least. Why I think that is because he's gonna try to convince Ellie. She's gonna be like, fuck off. Then he's gonna come in the hospital scene where it's pickly. He's gonna come in. I think Jesse's gonna be with her. Dina too, if she survives the cabin, which I wouldn't spoil that, I hope. But they're gonna reunite, they're gonna rescue. So you might say, Dick, that don't make sense because Joel already has a reunion with Ellie here. You think I'm gonna let those do your own? Well, like I said, I think there's gonna be multiple split ups with Joel and multiple reunions. Why? Is because Joel loves Ellie like his daughter. Like, Ellie's basically Joel's daughter at this point, right? I don't think he would physically knock her out and drag her back to Jackson. But if Joel sees that Ellie's doing something reckless, I feel like he would be persistent. He will try to convince her many times. Ellie would leave, Joel would catch up to her, keep persisting until he breaks, and then finally says the truth. Tries to tell Ellie, you know, the world could have been different if I didn't stop any chances of a cure. This is on me, kiddo, you feel me? Maybe the world could have been more civilized and closer to what it was before the outbreak if I found a cure. And I think that, he's gonna say this at the end of the game after continuously following Ellie, catching up to her, asking her, for the love of God, stop Ellie. Is gonna make her feel like, what else can I do? I gotta tell the truth in order for Ellie to stop her revenge and get her to kind of blame me instead. I don't know. Because what Ellie is doing is very reckless. We cannot deny that, right? Because at some point she is going solo dolo. So after the hospital rescue, check my theory if you want more in depth on that, but after the hospital rescue, when Ellie is solo dolo, she gets rescued, I think that he'll tell her the truth as one last attempt to get her to stop. And and then Ellie will partially blame Joel for whatever happened in the cabin. I think that Maria might bite the dust there. If Ellie grows so close to Joel in 1 year, imagine Aunt Maria for 5. And then you've heard me say it in my breakdown that this could be Ellie on top of Joel here. Because look at her face. She looks visibly upset. It looks like she doesn't want to do this. She might be fucking up Joel here. I don't think she'll directly kill Joel, but this is where the cliffhanger part happens. I feel like Ellie would be so mad because Joel tells the truth after the cabin scene, and she'll partially blame Joel. She'll like be blinded by a fury and start fucking him up. You might say, well, why isn't Joel, like, Joel loves Ellie as his daughter. I don't think he'd be able to fight back. I think he'd be emotionally broken. Like, he'd tear up that scar of Sarah, tear up, like, like, when he tells the truth, it'd tear up everything. All his built up, all his, yeah. And that he would just accept whatever Ellie does to him. I don't, like, it's... So here's the thing. I think that Ellie will stop last second. Okay, like, last second. And that she'll leave Joel, like, beaten up, bloody, laying on the ground. Oh my god. Let me take a break, bro. Alright, it's really hard to do these emotional theories. But the cliffhanger part, what I'm getting at is that we don't see Joel's fate. We don't know what happened, we just know he's messed up, right? And then the scene cuts to this scene right here. I said in my screenshot analysis, why do I think this scene is connected to the ending? Ellie got a bruise here. I think that this might be hours or like days after, after what happened, and we don't know Joel's fate. We just see the ending scene of the game is Ellie, like the PSX reveal trailer, her sitting sad, just playing guitar and singing. For me, I would want either Through the Valley or True Faith. One of them that they're included in the game, and basically it's this, like, it's this ending of where part 1, it's been said, part 1 was about love and part 2 is gonna be about hate. Having part 1's ending come back full circle and then having Ellie hating the person she once loved. And that's also why I think it's gonna be multiple, it's gonna be like messy to get to that point. This scene, it's gonna be a rocky journey with multiple split ups, right? Multiple arguments, multiple like verbal arguments, like them shouting at each other because Joel wants Ellie to stop and Ellie's pissed at Joel. Why do you want me to stop? Why do you, like, what the fuck? And then like it finally leads up to part 1 being about love, part 2 being about hate. Ellie growing to hate the person she once loved. For me, I think it's 50-50 if Joel would die. I know it's cheesy if they do a cliffhanger where we don't know his fate, but part 1 story was far from original. But the execution is what made it what it was. And people would just scream for part 3. I would demand a part 3 ASAP. But Joel's death, I'd say it's 50-50, right? I also could imagine that Ellie stops herself last second, realized like, this is my dad type deal. And, you know, Joel, we see Joel pass due to the damages Ellie caused. But it's like a moment of sadness where Ellie holds his hand and he says goodbye. Oh, if he says goodbye, baby girl, it's over. Just a theory. It's just, yeah. But just thinking about this being possible, yeah. So where was I? 50-50 if he dies or not due to the damages is my theory. Cliffhanger ending would be a really good, like, from a business standpoint, and I feel like depending on the execution it would be not that cheesy because part 1 story is unoriginal, but basically could also be that, like I said, Ellie stops last second and we see Joel pass due to his damages, and you know, she holds his hand and we get a goodbye. People have been thinking that Joel is gonna die ever since he walked through that doorway in the Through the Valley, that 2016 reveal trailer.
Okay, cool. Just 2 real quick questions. Is Joel dead? And when is the game coming out?
What was the first question?
Joel, alive or dead?
It depends at which point. Everybody dies at some point.
Wow. Hey, guys. quick reminder of mortality, just in case you haven't thought
say a little
about the
bit
void.
about the thing with like, it's so interesting. Like we always want to go into our games and people know that there's stakes. There's real stakes, and with The Last of Us, no one is safe. And we wanted people to go into The Last of Us Part 2, especially with this theme, and what we're trying to say with this game is knowing that no one is safe, not even these two. And it's funny, like working on Uncharted 4, we really wanted to raise the stakes as well, but that game is much more lighthearted. And with this, we released one trailer, Joel walks through a door and it's like, oh my god, is Joel a ghost? Is he dead?
And if Joel does die, I would be very disappointed in Troy Baker. This is a thing that might plant a big scene in your head the way it's been planted in mine. It'll get you paranoid. It's something Troy stated on a Retro Replay you know the Retro Replay channel. They played Last of Us, but basically, yeah. It's something he said. It planted a big seed in my head. I think the way he delivered it, if you don't want that seed planted in your head, you might want to click away. I'm gonna count down to 3. Click away on the video if you don't want to. Yeah. Anyways, 3, 2, 1.
So is this your first time going through this well, or have you gone through this game before?
I have never gone through this game.
Oh, me too.
Never.
Girl.
No, I
Okay.
neither.
I stopped playing video games in Tetris. You know, Super Mario 2, I think, was about as far as it
Well, you know,
was. Like,
that's something.
In your defense, 2 is an amazing place to stop.
yeah.
I know I memed this. Right with my meme video. But here you saw the raw, like the way he delivered it, right? So this could be taken as confirmation that Joel won't die because Troy is under an NDA. But people have had loose tongues in the past. Nolan North, he confirmed The Last of Us 2 before it was official. He slipped up, basically. So Troy could be... I hope not. Could be that he's hinting at either 2 is an amazing place to stop Maria because her VA was there, or he's hinting it to himself. But the way he delivered it, like he could just say, "Oh, I didn't mean that. We were just talking about, you know, the pretext of the conversation." But like, the way he delivered that, the pause, the long awkward pause, and then the awkward laughter, I cannot deny that did plant a seed in my head. And I know I memed this, but this could be many things, right? It could be, like I said, confirmation that Joel won't die since he's under NDA. This could also be that maybe he's trolling us with a fake out, like we'll have a fake out like in part 1. And that's why he said that, to troll us in that moment to think, what the fuck? Or it could be that Joel does die and he's pissed about it, so he slipped up. Like I said, it's 50-50 in my opinion. I will be very disappointed in Joey if this does happen. And I would be a shill if I didn't say that I wouldn't be disappointed. Like, if I didn't address this and say that I would be disappointed, I would. Like, that's just blind fanboy. Troy Baker, Master Troll if this happens. And it also could be that Joel won't die, he's just reverse psychology. We'll see when we get there. But anyways, to summarize, my ending prediction. There was gonna be a rocky journey leading up to this, but eventually Joel will tell the truth. Ending of part 1 comes back full circle and Ellie will just be blinded. She'll blame him for what happened in the cabin. This is Ellie on top of Joel due to her facial expression. And the cliffhanger will be that we don't see if Joel dies or not due to his injuries. It'll be Ellie playing on guitar. Or Joel does pass. Ellie says goodbye, holds his hand, she stops herself last second, and yeah. That is my ending prediction of The Last of Us 2. So let me just ramble up some, multiple. I'm recording this before I head into the shits with the ending theory, but here are some quick theories that I had planned to go in depth about, but since we're out of time, I'm gonna quickly ramble them up real quick. So I was gonna do a Firefly revenge theory in depth, but real quick, if you've seen my David's Town revenge theory, top right corner link down below if you haven't, you can take that exact same theory. You can take that and apply it to the Fireflies. Another theory, I see Ellie using her immunity to her advantage with maybe getting enemies to chase her and she runs into an area with spores as a trap, so to say. The enemies like, they haven't seen the area they're about to run into type deal. They're in combat, they're rushing after Ellie. Ellie knows there's spores in this area, boom. She leads them to, breathing in a bunch of spores into an area with spores. And also an optional story moment I can think of is that we have a more personal section or connection like layer with the Seraphites. Maybe we get like an interrogation cutscene or whatever, or we overhear like one Seraphite some way, somehow, basically, maybe like an interrogation or whatever, like the first encounters with the Seraphites. Ellie's like, this is, what is this group? And she's like, she takes one down, asks about the group, what are your motives, what are your shit like that, and maybe this Seraphite says, you look exactly like her, and we get like basically a hint that Ellie would understand that the Seraphites would be involved with Anna and maybe kill Anna. If you've seen my last stand theory, you know what I mean. Yeah, description top right corner. Quick set piece rambling theories. So this with the car chasing scene, this is gonna be a set piece. I think it already kind of looks like it, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a set piece. Train station, I think we're gonna have a set piece, I think. And maybe we get a, oh shit, my bad. And maybe we get a scene on a bridge. Like, let's say a bridge collapsing or something like that. We've already seen like a bunch of corroded shit in, you know, Seattle and shit like that, like buildings collapse. And yeah, look at this shit, you know what I'm saying? What if we have like a fragile bridge, rust, all that shit, and then boom, shit like that. Set piece, good set piece opportunity. And I think that Ellie might lose her horse in a set piece, or she eats it since she's running low on food. And also I was thinking that maybe Ellie could even be exiled out of Jackson if she maybe kind of revenge goes too far, she kills too many innocent people involved with the group she wants revenge on. Like maybe, let's say, somebody who isn't directly involved, even maybe somebody who happened to trade supplies back in the day with this group or whatever. But you get my point, that Ellie goes too far, too many innocent people dies, and she gets exiled out of Jackson. Other than that, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me upon this journey leading up to part 2. Stick around for my playthrough, stick around for the epicness that comes after part 2. Like, share, whatever you want to do. Endure and survive, and I'll see you when I see you.